When GM introduced this trim level, they were on top of the world. Now, they're in the middle of the pack. I borrowed this truck from Seiner Chevrolet here in Salt Lake City. It is available for sale. Let's go and check out the window stickers so you guys see options and pricing on this build. At the very top is the description and the colors, sterling gray metallic. And here is a short listing of the standard equipment. Be sure to pause. Base price comes in at $53,100. This one has the custom value package for $2,360. And here's everything that's going to come in there. Gooseneck fifth wheel prep package, multi-flex tailgate, Z71 off-road package, and has the black bow tie emblems. Destination comes in at $1,995 with a total price of $58,970. If you are considering this custom trim, you got to get that value package because it gives you a lot of nice features as you guys just saw. Starting off on the front, you get those front parking sensors because of that package. Now you guys saw that it did black out your bow tie right there, and the sterling paint looks really good on the front end. You can see that it kind of goes horizontally in the grille there, and then down below you have this painted black bumper. It looks really good. Halogen headlights, incandescent turn signals. So as I said earlier, this truck was the one to get if you were after price and you wanted a good exterior style. Now Ford has answered with their STX package because you can get LED headlights on that one, painted bumpers. They give you an 18-inch wheel. This one has the 20s. Now one thing I'll say though is this truck is probably going to be a little bit cheaper because of all the niceties that you get. Now on the hood, you do not have that functional hood scoop because this has a gas engine, and you can see that off to the side here. And then here is the suspension. You're going to have the double wishbone independent, Rancho shocks with the Z71 package, and this one has the torsion bars as well. And because of that off-road package, you do have some splash protection down below too. And then here are the tires. If you don't know, these are the Goodyear Wrangler Trail Runners. They're all terrain, 20-inch wheel, and I love this design too. 8 lug. And here are the specs: LT 275, 65, 20. These are basically 34 inches tall. I think they're about 10.8 inches wide in that ballpark. 3,750 pounds of capacity, 80 psi. And they give you the plastic trimming around for the fender flare. Z71 badge. And there is an option to get running boards too. I would take the high clearance steps for sure. Now they're not comfortable, but you get that glute workout for sure. So these mirrors do not have the power function for tow mode, so you will have to pull them out manually like that. You still have the lights here when you're stationary, accent lights, and you have the puddle lights down below. Now these are power folding, blind spot monitoring, and then you have these reverse lights if you're hooked up to a trailer or if you just need them for backing into the garage. They do give you the plastic trimming on the door handles in black, and it actually has a nice contrast too. 2500 badge right there, and 6 foot 10-inch bed. You have the steps front and rear, and because this is a 2500, you just have this leaf pack. You don't have the overload, so you have 5 leaves. The bottom one's going to be an overload, or actually not an overload, it's going to be a helper spring, not an overload. And then you have the wax coating on the frame. There is a liner available. If it's not for order, you can get it after the fact if you like. I would definitely add one. More Rancho shocks in there. And then you do have the steps built into the bumper, rear parking sensors, class 5 hitch. This one did have the multi-flex tailgate, and the assistance was added with that value package too. Now this does add a step as well, and they do provide this handle here. Bed lights, 4 and 7 pin because you got the fifth wheel prep package, and I believe that when you get fifth wheel prep, it does come with the spray and bed liner too. 400 watts of power right there. No power glass, no cameras back here, but that's not a big deal. you're able to save a lot of money on the price point. And then down below, there's your spare tire. It's gonna be a Michelin with a Steely. 373 rear end because it's a gas engine. Automatic locker. See those transfer shocks a little bit better. And then on this side, so we're gonna fill up at 36-gallon fuel tank. Let's go ahead and pop the hood and talk about this 6.6 gas engine. Most of you know that I owned the 6.6 liter gas with the 10-speed stamp-approved Allison behind it. I personally liked this engine because for me, I didn't have to worry about the emission stuff on the diesel. The oil changes were a little bit cheaper, and I just think that they're just easier to own overall. You don't have to run a bunch of, you know, cetane boosters, things like that, because the fuel in America for gasoline is a lot better quality compared to the diesel. So for me personally, this is a really good option if you don't tow that much. If you don't plan on towing cross country, or if you're not towing heavy, the gas engine will get it done. Now the only pet peeve I have is because I am higher above at 4,000 elevation, you do lose 3% every 1,000 feet. So you feel that with this engine. It's 401 horsepower, which comes on around 5,200 RPMs, 464 pound-feet of torque, which comes on around 4,000. They are using a cast iron block with nodular iron main caps, cast aluminum head, and compression comes in at 10.8 to 1, so you don't have to burn premium, although, you know, it is a V8 with high horsepower, so it's not a bad idea to do that if you are planning to tow. And as I said earlier, 10-speed transmission is behind it, so it's going to have deeper gears, you know, first, second, and third, obviously, and your steps are closer, so you're going to have more power in each gear. Lastly, it does have a forged steel crankshaft. The camshaft is billet steel, so this is an overbuilt engine. It is just direct injection, but I don't think that these engines have as much issue with carbon buildup on the intakes. I don't really see that being a problem on the GM. Now, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've seen in the past, that has not been the case from what I've seen. So here's where GM needs to step up their game. This interior. This was fine for 2020 to 2023. But when I saw they were carrying this over for 2024, I was really shocked. And the reason why is because this interior was kind of outdated when they introduced it back in 2020 compared to what Ram did. I think that they were probably on par with Ford personally from 2020 to 2022. But for the most part, I think that GM needs to do a update with the new interior. Now they don't have to add the large screens. They can use the screen that's out of the Canyon right there, and you know, maybe not give it the nice gauge cluster if they don't want, but they do need to update this interior for sure. But based off of what I'm seeing, if this is what they're giving us in 2025, we won't see a new interior until they do a complete redesign with this truck. Now all of this is hard plastic. They do give you a satin finish on your door handle, which is nice. You have auto up and down for the driver's side, but auto down for everything else. As I said, you have power folding outside mirrors. This power seat was an option, as you guys saw. So it is going to be a 10-way, including the lumbar support. And as far as your steering wheel goes, it is just a tilt. It's not telescoping. Here's some of your controls. You have your lighting controls. Tow haul mode is right there. Electronic parking brake. This one does have the all-weather floor mats. Let's go ahead and check out the passenger side. The good news about this interior is you do have the power windows, power door locks. This one also has something I'll show you in a second. A little bit of storage there. And you cannot use this truck to carry a slide-in camper. There is a camper package for 50 bucks that will probably upgrade this truck to be able to do so. Manually operated seat on this side. With the interior, they do give you the lighter color roof with the black, but I do like this interior better than the Ford STX. Now that I've had time to really go back and forth between the trucks, this is better in my opinion over the Ford STX XL trim package because they give you that light gray interior, and I can see that getting dirty quick. Out back here, 60/40 bench, so you don't really lose that. You don't have a power sliding glass, but you have the defrost, which honestly, if I had to pick between a sliding glass and defrost, I'd pick the defrost every time. You'd be shocked at how dirty that window gets, and then it gets foggy easily. You have your air vents still in the back, 2 USBs still. Seat back pockets on both sides. They give you the grab handles to get in the rear too. They just don't have a center armrest back here. That's all. It's the only thing missing. Let's go ahead and jump back over to the driver's seat. So here it is. As I mentioned earlier, this is a nice feature to have, push button start. Ford makes this an option, or even not even available for like the STX package, I believe. Especially on the XL work truck, you can't get push button start. Ram makes it standard across the board, so they're probably the best in regards to that. But you just still have a backup camera, and if you need to hook up to a trailer, you have the backup line right there. You can turn off all the lines if you don't want anything. And this is what, a 8-inch, 7-inch screen. It's small, and you can tell it still has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can still customize the screen too if you like. Move things around like so. Shows you the outside temperature, the time right there. Single climate control. You still have downhill assist. They give you a 120 volt power plug right there and a 12 volt alongside of 2 USBs, type A, type C. Trailer brakes right here. You have a lane keep assist alert, so it'll kind of vibrate the seat for you. You can disable those parking sensors. You can drop the tailgate from inside the truck as well. And your gear limiter is on the steering wheel. You would have to go down to low gear, and then you can select what gear you like right there. Cruise control, and then you have an alert for like if you're getting ready to collide with somebody. But all in all, this interior definitely just needs to get some updates. You still have LED interior lights. Vanities do not have lighting on either side. A little bit of storage above. Wait, listen for this. Hard plastic. Now for your center console, they still give you some cup holders here. A little bit of storage right there. And when you put this up, you have 6 passengers and storage below here. But if you don't need this to be used as a seat, you can pull this down, and now you just have your center console here. But yeah, I think that GM needs to do some updates with this trim. This is a really important trim in my opinion, because trucks have gotten so expensive, so it would be nice to give this truck a nice refresh for the interior, even if it's just a basic one, you know, with the smaller screens, and even keeping this, you know, for the gauge if they can make it fit. But let's go ahead and check out the Payload, and then I will pretty much end this video. Gross axle weight rating out front is going to be 4,800 pounds. The rear is 6,600 pounds. Gross vehicle weight rating is going to be 10,850 pounds. The wheel is going to be 20 by 8.5 wide, and all-in payload is going to be 3,469 pounds. That's pretty good for a 3/4 ton. It can tow 16,000 pounds conventionally, 18,380 pounds gooseneck, and curb weight 7,381 pounds. Gross combined weight rating is 26,000. And then here is the yellow sticker, so you guys see the tire pressure, 60 out front, 70 in the rear. Hope you guys liked the video. This truck is available, as I said, and it is definitely priced well. I mean, I want to say maybe, what, 3 years ago, this truck was probably about maybe about 52,000, 53,000, so it has gone up a little bit. But for what you're getting in this truck, it is a nice option to have. It can tow heavy, and you still have a lot of nice comfort features, as you just saw. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. See you guys soon.